Greetings, friends. If you consider yourself a failure, forget about it. Because here I am, a person who was expelled in their fourth year of studies. But you know what? I'm not going to beat myself up or shed tears over it. On the contrary, I want to share this story with you because maybe my mistakes will help you avoid similar situations. Or maybe you too were expelled at some point and need someone to tell you you're not alone. So make yourself comfortable, and I'll start my story about how I managed to get kicked out of technical school 5 minutes before graduation. This story begins like all stories of this kind. So I finish ninth grade and think, is that it? Where am I? And where do I go from here? Mom, help. I had absolutely no idea who I wanted to be, where to apply, or how to live my life at all. All I could remember was that I once wanted to be a cosmonaut, fly into space, and meet Lontic there. But I realized that with dreams like that, the only place I could apply to was a mental hospital. But time went on, the application period was ending, and all I could think was, I'll go study to become a millionaire. No, a billionaire. And finally, having made up our minds, my mom and I went to make a deal with the devil. So I started imagining my luxurious life already. But there, harsh reality was waiting for me. What kind of professions were there? Cook, welder, seamstress, janitor, sausage maker, bread maker, carpenter, armrest, turn signal. In short, as you can guess, I didn't see any astronaut or oil tycoon on that list. And that's when I decided I'll just go back to first grade. But at the end, I saw something interesting. ISIP. Yeah, that didn't mean anything to me either. It stands for Information Systems and Programming. Basically, a programmer. Well, there you go. We'll hack Scrooge McDuck's accounts and swim in luxury. It's decided. All the documents are submitted, the formalities are settled. Now I just have to wait for September 1st. And here it is, September 1st. The assembly. So there I am, standing at this ceremonial event. I'm surrounded by a crowd of people I don't know. And inside I'm thinking, maybe it's not too late to run away from here. But then my eyes land on a familiar face in a neighboring group. It was someone I knew, and we got caught up in conversation. And I didn't even notice when my group had already left for class. As soon as I entered the educational building, I immediately got lost. Wandering through its hallways turned into a real quest. Where's the schedule? Where are the classrooms? Where's the exit from here, anyway? And I think, I'll just go home. I've had enough of this studying, that's it, I'm tired. And so I headed home. So that's how it was, the very first day, and I already skipped it. But I couldn't even imagine that this was just the beginning of something that would later drain all my strength, nerves, and the last drops of self-confidence from me. That's how my journey into the world of education and losing myself began. The first year started like this, realizing that I was unlikely to find common ground with my classmates. After all, I came from a place where social development decided to stop in the 90s, where a child's first word isn't mama but bro, where instead of diapers a baby has a leather jacket, and instead of hello it's what's up, that's me, while my classmates are like the son of my mom's friend. But despite all that, I did meet a friend, and oh praise be to the Almighty. If it weren't for him, I probably would have dropped out in my first year, although that might have been the best decision. Damn him. During my first year I was just getting used to the new reality. Here are my achievements in the first year. I have one friend in the whole group, and the curator hates me because of my different behavior. But you have to understand me, I came from a place where everything is tough. Because of the curator's constant remarks, is that allowed where you're from? Is that normal for you? Go back to where you came from. The inner conflict grew every day. The me that had formed by the time I enrolled just didn't fit into this new environment at all. And that's when I started to suppress myself. From a cheerful, sometimes eccentric person, I turned into someone quiet and withdrawn, afraid to say anything wrong. In my second year, I had a strong urge to drop out. While my friends, bulldozer operators and auto mechanics are living life to the fullest and acting however they want, with a tough guy as their supervisor who totally gets them, I realized that I'm not where I want to be. But then our supervisor changes and I'm genuinely happy about it. I think maybe now things will get better, but my new behavior had already taken shape during my first year. I'm afraid of coming across as different because I don't want to ruin relationships again or be yelled at again. So I choose the strategy of just staying silent, and that becomes my mistake. By the end of my second year, a completely different image of me has formed. So outside I'm the same old cheerful and confident guy, but at school I'm quiet and withdrawn. I stopped raising my hand, avoided answering questions, and gradually became an outcast in the eyes of the new supervisor. And as luck would have it, she turned out to be emotionally unstable. Her colleagues constantly loaded her with work, she couldn't refuse them, and she took it out on me and my friend. And what's most depressing is that this system only became more entrenched during the third and fourth years. The behavioral pattern became firmly established. By my fourth year, I hated studying, but I understood there was no turning back. Everything around me seemed dull and joyless. The only bright spot left was my friend, and my behavior on the street and at school became sharply contrasted. Because of this, I started to wonder, where is the real me? Watching these two completely different versions of myself, I wanted to be that cheerful guy even within the walls of the school. But every time I crossed the threshold of the college, it was as if I lost control of myself. Familiar behavioral patterns would overpower my desires. One day, exhausted by this inner conflict, I decided to figure things out and watched some videos on YouTube. And there I stumbled upon content about mindfulness and being present in the moment. These ideas resonated with me. That's how my journey toward mindfulness began. But that's another story. And so, when it was time for my final internship and to defend my thesis, fate threw me another curveball. I was admitted to the hospital. While other students were looking for internship placements, I was lying in a hospital bed. By the time I was discharged, there was no time left to look for a place. My friend, with whom I had spent all 4 years of study, also didn't want to look for an internship on his own. He couldn't be bothered to do it alone. We went to our advisor and explained the whole situation. Basically, all we heard was, "All the best. Take your documents and come back to re-enroll next year." Without much hesitation, we decided to take our documents. And then came the happiest moment of my entire time as a student. Walking out the doors of the institution, realizing it was for the last time, it felt like my boundaries just fell away and everything became so much easier. The world suddenly burst into colors I hadn't noticed in a long time. Realizing that I would never go back there, I felt true freedom. And my friend and I, not regretting our decision for a single second, walked off into the sunset. That's how my educational story ended. So friends, what can I say after some time has passed? Do I regret this experience? No. This path gave me invaluable experience, helped me understand my true desires, and revealed new facets of my personality. It taught me to appreciate life, to value the freedom of choice, shaped my future course in life, and helped me understand myself. I believe it doesn't matter which path we take. What matters is not the route, but who we become as a result of this journey and what lessons we take from it.